It's really hard to be an artist with a platform and use it for something like social justice because you get blackballed. Straight up.
Has anything like that?
So many times. So many opportunities have come off the table because I care about the world. The more of us that shy away from using our cultural influence, the easier it is for these kinds of powers and these authoritarian powers to get away with things and normalizing things that are actually obscene.
Right.
In the context of a group, it's really even harder to really find yourself and know yourself in those formative years when you're doing it in front of an audience and you're doing it with 4 other people around you who are also growing up and getting to know themselves. It's a very spiritual process for me. Like, I'm really giving you my diary when I give you projects. You know, I'm giving you my inner worlds. I'm giving you my perception. I'm giving you what is happening in the world that is making me feel something. My goal with whatever it is that I create in this world is to challenge what we know to be the absolute truth. And it's like, there is no absolute truth. Everything is malleable and everything is upheld by ideas, by what we all choose to believe.
Ready for cruise dragon and team
Ladies, germs, germons, germettes, geraniums, and horaleosoirs and foreigners. We are here in outer space for another installment, another flight at In Our Own Worlds. And today's flight is truly a treat, not only for you guys out there, but us who get to share this space with this beautiful soul sitting next to me who shall be revealed.
And beautiful woman.
Yeah.
Don't leave
Already
that out.
flirting. 2 seconds in, we're already flirting.
Okay, but you know what? At least I'm consistent. There we go. Consistent in one thing.
Consistency.
We are sitting down with an unstoppable force. You know her voice, rich and soulful, truly impossible to forget. But she is so much more than that. She's a fearless artist who's carved her own path, blending raw vulnerability with undeniable strength and talent in everything she creates.
From her days as a member of one of the best-selling girl groups of all time to forging her own path with music that hits you right in the gut. Trust me, I know. She's been busy building a legacy on her own terms, blending R&B, alternative and Latin influences.
Beyond the music, she's a passionate advocate, using her voice to fight many issues of social justice, LGBTQ rights, and mental health awareness, amongst other things.
We're talking music, growth, and everything in between. Please welcome singer, songwriter, poet, activist, podcaster, fellow Miamian, Cubanita, and dog mom, Lauren Jauregui.
Wow, what an intro, ladies.
Well, we truly feel all of those things.
Thank you.
And,
that was so sweet.
how
You
do you
did your
feel
homework.
I mean, we knew all that stuff. Come on now.
For the people, for the people.
For the people.
How you feeling today?
I feel great today. Today's a good day.
Good.
Yeah, I've been doing breath work in the mornings, so shit is actually hitting.
That's good.
I like it.
I need to do some breath work in the morning. What is it, like box breathing?
No, I sent you the link. I found this guy
Yes, you
who
did.
does so it's fire breathing, something else with a diaphragm that's also fire, and then humming,
Yeah.
and then the left right nostril alternating.
See, I do all that stuff when I'm doom scrolling and I'll see the lady who's like, cover your left eye, look up, bounce on one foot, put your finger. I'm like, and it takes away anxiety. I'm like, dale. That's how I had the
Let's try our best here.
of sunning my boo hole and almost having.
Was it good? Was it a good experience?
Well, I got trolled because
Why?
I thought it was like, it made sense. Like the sun's gonna go directly
Into the
but they're
hole.
like, yeah, plot twist. It's actually really thin skin that's never exposed to the sun, so it could really hurt yourself.
Did you burn yourself?
I
No le
cannot
pusiste
confirm
ni
nor
una
deny.
cremita ni nada.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Coño.
Anyway,
so
enough about
sorry.
my booty hole. Let's talk about you. So our first.
I'm just going back to the times
like-
of walking outside and Emily's literally like leg above head. And I'm like, Emily.
I mean, I've heard sunning down there is a great thing to do. So
Just be careful. Sun
I'm
with
going to
protection.
take your word
sun
for
with
it.
protection. Honestly, I'll take that.
So you've
Starting off strong. What
Right
an
from
intro.
the start. Right
on
from
all
the
your
start. Oh my God.
okay. Enough about holes.
No.
Now we gotta get serious, guys. If not, we're gonna comer mierda here because we'll be here talking for
I know.
hours.
It's true. It's true.
We gotta be like, all right, Diane. Sorry, no. Okay.
iHeart really did his big one, letting us have our friends over and call this work.
Okay.
They don't tell us what to do. Just
Shout out
kidding.
to iHeart, though.
No, shout out.
We love you.
We all know and love you.
Yes,
Oh.
But if you had to introduce yourself, share with the world, who is Lauren?
yes.
I think y'all did a great job. I mean, I am just a girl.
Okay, Gwen Stefani.
Oh, I'm just a girl. No, for real. I don't know. I think you really summed it up really nicely. I feel like I would say I'm a creative singer, songwriter, artist, poet, and human. That I love human rights, and I like to talk about how we can all achieve that together.
Love it.
And work together to get somewhere better. And that's kind of what I focus all my energy on, really, is art and connection with whoever I come in contact with, and healing.
Do you feel like it's an artist's responsibility to use their platform to speak out about things that are wrong with the world?
Yes and no. Like, so I think for me, because it comes to me and from me, I do it. You know what I mean?
Right.
I think there's a lot of artists who use their platforms for different reasons. I would love for all artists to feel inclined to use their energy to create a better world. But there's a lot of people who use their platform as escapism, or like a means for people to, not have to think about those kind of things. And I think each person has their own approach to their artistry. And I used to be like, rah, rah, rah. But now I'm more on like, I don't really judge nobody for how they're trying to make it through this place,
Right, it's rough.
Yeah, it's rough. And it's really hard to be an artist with a platform and use it for something like social justice, because you get blackballed. Straight up.
Has anything like that?
So many times. So many opportunities have come off the table because I care about the world. And it doesn't affect me as negatively as like people maybe perceive it, like the people around me perceive it, because for me, I don't want to work with anybody who feels off-put by me telling the truth,
Preach.
I don't want to add my voice to your voice either. So it works
Both ways.
You know what I mean? And I would rather people be upfront and real about why they don't want to work with me. Because a lot of stuff has come to the table for me, and people are like, hey, I want to work with you. And then all of a sudden they're like, oops, like, you're a little too much. And I don't think I'm too much. I really just be advocating for human rights. That's it.
Yeah.
Like that's my baseline across the board, is like, are these people being oppressed? Hey, yo, stop oppressing them. Let's allocate our budget to stuff that actually helps people.
Right.
And that's really
it's a no-brainer for
me.
You, it seems. Yeah.
For me.
And me too.
But I think anyone who's spiritually inclined and anybody who is empathetic in any kind of way can feel that and feel what's right and what's wrong in that kind of capacity. And yes, there's complexities, but at the end of the day, the complexities usually come from propaganda,
Right.
And so I like to see through that and speak truth to power. That's part of my purpose on this planet. It's not everybody's purpose, but it's part of mine.
Wow. Well, I think you're a role model in that arena, because I think it's what you just mentioned, the prospect of losing opportunities like that kind of forces people to take a
stay in line
and not speak their truth.
Exactly.
And not share. And it's not about necessarily, like you said, I don't think that it's about, these are all of my personal opinions, but when that line is drawn and it's gone too far, and we're talking about life.
Yeah.
Like,
to me, life
really
is
being
precious.
at risk. Exactly.
And like, that's on some spiritual shit for me. Like God created all of us equally. And it's really deeply about protecting the sanctity of life and protecting the sanctity of children, protecting the sanctity of this planet that feeds us, that houses us, that is the reason we're here and breathing. You know what I mean? Like, if the air's polluted and the water's polluted and children are being murdered, like, I'm sorry,
we're not taking care
of it. We're not honoring like the sanctity of life, like the reason we're all here, That's my personal opinion.
I think
it's badass.
It's badass. And also so many artists and people who advocate for the right thing, unfortunately, are ahead of their time. Mm-hmm. And
I'm in the League of Legends, though.
Yeah.
There you go.
Because the first quote that you mentioned is a Nina Simone quote, she says, like, an artist's duty is to reflect the times.
Yeah, it's true.
And I really wholeheartedly believe that with my soul.
Like, you think people were happy about Marvin Gaye, singing about what he was
going
singing
on
about, and now it's literally become an anthem.
Exactly.
For
or
so
Stevie
many.
Wonder.
Oof.
Like,
yeah.
There's a plethora of incredible artists that I really admire in how they use their platform, and they use also their unity. Like, with each other,
Yeah.
to create social movements. And I think that's a huge thing too. Like the more of us that shy away from using our cultural influence, the easier it is for these kinds of powers and these authoritarian powers to get away with things and normalizing things that are actually obscene.
Right.
And the more that we work with each other to create cultural moments and to create social moments where like the kids are inspired to be like that and be more progressive and be more on a tip of wanting to create a better world, not only for us, but for themselves. Because the younger generations are the ones that are going to be here in the long term to deal with all the repercussions of what we're allowing to happen.
It's true.
You know? And so I feel like, you know, the more that we all make that a cool thing to do and be, and the more we shy away from shit like Elon Musk talking about how, you know, empathy is the weakness of this nation.
That's crazy.
Like that is really dangerous rhetoric, you know, because empathy is actually what connects us to one another and what connects us to the string of life and the wheel of life, you know, and that's indigenous wisdom, you know. For years and years and years, colonialism has been trying to disappear indigeneity, to disconnect us from that truth, to disconnect us from the earth, so that we can normalize billionaires making fuck ton of money
Freaking
off
Columbus.
of destroying things.
Using us
God damn you,
as
Columbus.
the way to get
Columbus.
there.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Because we have to comply.
We have,
There
and if you-
is no machine without us running it.
Exactly. And that's the point. Is
Right.
like the easier we make it for them to get away with things like this and normalize things like this, the more they push the boundary on how far they can go.
Yeah.
And the furthest they can go is what happens all across the world, which is war and death. And it's fucking scary. It's
Violence.
scary, the type of shit that happens, bro.
Yeah.
It really is.
And it starts with, I think, cultural leaders like yourself giving into the fear. And,
right. Or
and
not
listen-
giving into the fear.
There you go.
The fearlessness, you know.
I think that it's tough. It's definitely a difficult place to be in. And I totally respect, you know, at the end of the day, if I speak truthfully, right? And it came down to, I have to feed my family. I have no other way to feed my family. My integrity really isn't for sale and neither is yours. If I was really up against a wall, I don't know what I would do for the people that I love. But that's not our reality.
Right.
We're not there.
I'm personally like really privileged, so
Yeah. I think
in that position,
all of us in this
yeah,
room
all of us are.
try to use that, you know, like because we have less of a chance of getting kidnapped. Hopefully.
I'm like, wait a minute. Somebody knock on wood somewhere.
So knock on all the wood.
Please knock on your wood at
if
home.
anybody wants to do that shit to me, you're going to be the one that's going to end up punished. Stuck with my annoying ass.
My mom used to say that she was
Joke's on you.
literally. My mom used to say she was never worried about me getting kidnapped because they'd return me. I'm like, thanks, mom. Janelle, don't laugh.
I'm sorry, I'm here cracking up as well. Yeah.
No, but I do think there will be many a plaque of you in the future.
Period.
And we'll be there to take a holographic selfie with it.
I want to leave behind buildings and schools, and not necessarily in my name, but like just in general.
Is that a goal for you?
Oh yeah, yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Okay, can you put them in my name?
Sure. It's Stefan
I'll
building.
take all the credit for your hard work.
Emily and Jem
advocacy.
building.
Aw, thank you for including me in that.
Of course. Y'all are a dynamic duo.
Yeah, we are. Before we move on, I just wanted to ask you one more thing because
Yeah.
you're also very observant and you talk a lot about the children, the importance of the children and how they are the ones who are going to inherit this mess. And I have a nephew who's turning 13 and already passed me in height a long time ago.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's not too
Yeah,
hard.
yeah, not too hard.
I still have more of a mustache than him, so we're good.
Okay, good.
But that's not hard. Anyway, do you notice younger, because now we have like all these generations before us because nos estamos poniendo vieja.
Sí.
And do you notice that they
Cierto.
care more? How do you see the dynamic between generations before us?
So I feel like there's kind of a wide range, if I'm being honest. To some degree, I feel like the younger generation, or some of the younger generation, they've related empathy to like cringe culture. And I see like a lot of like caring about stuff and like being vocal about that is like cringe to them.
Oh, like the woke warriors? Or whatever?
Exactly. Like the whole
Interesting.
concept of woke and like what you care about and what you think about and talk about. Again, because I believe that artists are cultural drivers. You know what I mean? So
Absolutely.
like if no one's talking about social justice and no one cares about that kind of stuff, they're going
Right.
to care about what these people care about. And a lot of people care about hair and makeup
And money and cars.
bodies and cars and how much money they have. And that's all that they're talking about. So that's what these kids are seeing on social media. You know, that's what's
Right.
raising them.
Yeah.
And those people that scoop the crystals?
Oh my God. What? She's talking about the TikTok lives where they like...
Right. It's just a super hyper consumerism is what I see. You know what I mean?
Yes. We were talking about that.
But there's also a whole lot of, like rainbow kids that are like here and are super spiritually aligned and super driven to that and are super aware of, their circumstances and what their futures don't or do look like. And they're doing what they can amongst themselves, So I think there's like a cultural divide, if you will,
for sure,
on that front. Is what I've noticed anyway.
Sad though, because I thought it would be the other way. I thought that. Did you ever read about indigo children?
Yes,
they were
that's what I'm talking about. The indigo children.
Yeah.
They supposedly started with like our generation,
and I think that's true.
I think that's true.
I see that everywhere too.
Yeah.
I see a lot of aware children that like school these adults. You know what I mean? Like
just spiritually,
just present.
Or even like Sasha, like he thinks that kindness is cool, and now there are young people who are seeing role models. Me.
Exactly.
But no, I'm
But
saying
actually,
like I'm looking at Dochi, like who's my role model now, right? And seeing like the difference in her being like sobriety got me here, spirituality got me here, not like drugs and booze and all this stuff that used to be
that
like
was
cool
powerful,
and rock and roll.
Yeah.
And now like I look up to her so much.
She helped me a lot too.
Yeah.
And I could look at her all day.
Yeah.
She's just fine as a glass of wine. But anyway.
Beautiful.
Anyway,
Beautiful.
I think that
inside and out.
Yeah, you've been inside? We'll talk
Ay,
later.
Dios mío.
What?
No.
Share. Share with the crowd.
Ain't nothing to share, honey.
Oh, Dochi, if you need somebody else to go inside.
Can't be
Okay.
spelling rumors
Anyway.
like that.
So,
She'd be so lucky to be in this Cuban sandwich.
oh my God. I can't control her. I can't.
She's her own person.
She's her own person. And you know that this is her.
I'm well aware. I'm learning every day.
Tell them. People really ask me all the time. They're like, "Is she really like that?" Because they think it's a front. I'm like, no, she's actually like that.
No, this is her personality.
All the time,
Talking
before
smack,
and after.
I'm right here. Let's
I
square
know.
up in space. Anti-gravity.
You
Mud
wish,
fight.
bruh. You wish.
No, I don't wish. I've played sports with you, sports that she doesn't know how to play.
I'm not a good
And
sports
literally,
player.
we'll be playing soccer, and all of a sudden, she'll whip like a pocket knife out of her back pocket,
Excessive.
and like be like, "What did they say in the
Exagera,
rules?
like-
Loophole."
Not that I wouldn't if I had to.
You looking to me for validation? That was crazy.
I'm scared. I don't like playing this sport.
Back to Lauren.
Okay, back to Lauren. I want to get into. I would love to get into your music.
Okay.
Yes.
Because we really are fans,
We're so lucky.
and your voice is so powerful and has such a unique color and shape to it. And then I'll hear the art that you make, and it's really surprising to me in a good way.
Yeah.
Not that I have, I guess, any kind of expectation of what your art would
No,
sound
but you
like.
hear an artist's previous work, and so you always kind of feel like you know what to anticipate. But Lauren has a surprise for y'all.
Oh gosh, wow.
They listen to some of my albums.
Yeah, a surprise is an understatement.
Yeah.
I wish that you're gonna hear it very soon. But what we heard was like, ooh. I don't want to give any spoilers.
Yeah.
But I want to hear from you, like
Yeah.
how you like we talked about the other day, how this is you right now. Like this is your sound right now. How have you evolved as a musician, and like how do you see the universe, getting ready to receive this big gift that you're gonna release?
Oh, well, I think it's just kind of, I started my solo music journey in 2018, and I was like about 20 years old at the time, or 21 years old at the time. And that was the first time that I actually allowed myself to songwrite. I've been writing poems and, journaling and like, dabbling and stuff my whole life. But that was the first time I actually was like, okay, I'm going to dedicate myself to seeing what it is that I would create, like if I really sit in a room with my own energy, my own thoughts, and get to guide the process from inception to completion, And so there was a lot of pop in me residually because I was just in a pop girl band, and there was a lot of R&B in me because I was in a world of R&B, and I love R&B, you know what I mean?
for
It just
sure.
naturally comes to me. My voice lends to it really easily.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of the first iteration of stuff that came out of me. And then I had signed with Columbia Records, and they were like, hey, let's try the Latina thing out with you. So they sent me...
Which fits.
Also fits, right?
Yeah.
So they sent me to
She's a
Miami.
chameleon.
She is, honey. They sent me to Miami, and I worked with Neon 16, and I wrote quite a few songs. Only like one of them came out, but like I wrote like 3 or 4 songs with a really good friend of mine, Chris Chill, and Chris Floyd as well, and was really able to tap into that kind of version of myself and world of myself and my bilingual nature in songwriting as well, which was really cool to explore and get out, because I feel like that whole era was just me exploring myself. And I think that's kind of my artistry in general, is me exploring myself. Like I'm very introspective with what I write about. I'm very much talking about my journey and on earth and like what makes me feel things, what I feel about things. I really love to articulate, like kind of put into form the way that I feel about shit, because I'm very empathic. I'm a Cancer, Sun, Scorpio moon,
Virgo rising.
She helps me.
I only know because I'm a Virgo moon.
She helps me execute. But the water in me really takes me to really deep depths, you know, of my psyche. And if I just stayed in my psyche with it, I feel like I would literally lose my mind. So being able to articulate it through music is something that really helps me understand myself better. And then my prayer for them when they come out is that other people can listen to them and be like, wow, I've never heard this feeling articulated like this. I can relate, or she's capturing how I'm feeling, you know, is kind of where my intention for the music comes from, you know? And so it's just kind of been a journey, like whatever it is that I'm going through, whatever it is that I'm feeling, that's what I'm articulating through my music. So, you know, Prelude was what I was feeling at the time, and that's what I articulated. A lot of those songs I had written in 2018, in 2019, when I was healing, like the beginning stages of healing from, you know, everything that I had gone through from being shot into the famous world at 16.
It's crazy.
Which was crazy, you know? Yeah. And especially in the context of a group, it's really even harder to really find yourself and know yourself in those formative years when you're doing it in front of an audience and you're doing it with 4 other people around you who are also growing up and getting to know themselves and figuring out how to express themselves, you know? So it was an amalgamation of all of that within those first 2 projects, in Prelude and in Between, which ended up coming out in 2023. And so those 2 first projects were who I was in those moments. Right. And along the way a little bit, because there was like, you know, 1 or 2 songs that I wrote closer to when it released. But most of those songs I drew from that first iteration of me songwriting. And then this project now, which I'm not telling you the name of yet.
That's okay. She'll tell us.
No, they know.
It feels so special.
But this project now is an amalgamation of my feelings. Like, because, you know, after you make certain things, people are like, this worked, this didn't work, this is good for you, you sound good with this. Right. And everybody has an opinion, right? About what you should or shouldn't do in order to make them money or yourself money, period.
Preach, girl.
You know, and I think that for me, when I was going into the studio, I was just like, this is just what's coming out of me. Like, I can't force, I'm not the type of artist or writer that like can force myself to make something. I can do it for other people, you know, I can songwrite for other people all day, whatever genre you throw at me.
That's so weird, right?
Yeah.
I also feel that way.
Yeah.
And I feel like you feel that way.
Yeah, because that's a source that you're connecting to that requires, at least from my experience, a kind of energy that it has to be on to connect to that part of your artistry. And a lot of the time, at least for me, when I've written stuff, I feel like it's purging a feeling from me, right? Yes. Like if I'm angry, there's so many times that I'd be angry and like literally write a song about it. Or like somebody pisses me off, write a song about it. Something pisses me, and then it almost like transforms that feeling into something else, you know? And when I'm writing stuff for a kid's show, you're connected, but
that's what you're connecting
technically,
to.
You know what I mean? You're more connected to what can I do with my skill set? How can I accomplish this task?
Yeah. And I love storytelling, you know? So
you're a great storyteller.
I can tell stories from whatever perspective. If you give me I love executing a concept. If you give me a concept or you give me some parameters.
Like a prompt.
Right.
A prompt. Right. I love a prompt.
I love a prompt.
Jem came into the room
really
and gave
good at it.
A prompt the other day.
Yeah. Oh, I love that.
Yeah, she put prompts on the top of a thing and she's like, free
but
write
it wasn't like
this.
a random prompt. It was a prompt that I knew.
Yeah, to excavate some stuff.
Right.
I love that. That's beautiful. That's a beautiful approach, I think, to
Me too. I got that from like my creative writing classes.
Period.
And it would work.
Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy because they would have you do like these free write journals at the beginning of the class and you always hate it. You're like, I really hate this. And then after a while you realize
artist pages.
Wow. Yes. It really works.
Yeah. Yeah, so I can do that for like other people really well, but when it comes to my own stuff, like it's a very spiritual process for me. Like I'm really giving you my diary when I
Yes.
give you
Yes.
projects. You know,
Yes,
I'm giving you
exactly.
my inner worlds. I'm giving you my perception. I'm giving you, you know, what is happening in the world that is making me feel something. And that's what kept coming up for me. And it was really angsty and it was really like pissed off and it was really sad and like also joyful because you need to hold on to the joy wherever you can get it. And so it's an amalgamation of that and more alternative leaning because of it, because that's the sound that lends to what I was feeling.
Right.
You know?
It's amazing. You
Thanks.
guys are going to freak out.
Yeah.
Really. We were like,
I hope so. I wanted to work this time.
either way, it's a beautiful picture
Snapshot.
of
Yeah.
where you're at right now.
Yeah, over the past 3 years.
3 years.
And if you
Yeah.
don't like it, you have no taste.
Period.
Wow.
You heard it here first. I ain't gonna tell you. Emily told you.
And that's why you're naming a school after her.
Yes.
Amen.
Full circle. I have to earn it. I'm not going to expect you to hand it to me.
No, I'm kidding. Honestly, though, I really don't make stuff for people anymore. Like I make stuff for inner child me.
Do you feel
and
like
inner
that's,
teen me?
this project is where that,
Oh yeah,
I hear it.
this project
I
is
feel like I
inner
hear
teen
that.
me's music. Like she
Yeah, I
needs
love
What
to
do
make
you
this.
feel like if you went back in time and you played 16-year-old you this album? What do you
Oh my
think?
God, she'd be obsessed.
She would be so
She would be a
upset.
fan, right?
She would be obsessed.
I know that because 16-year-old me would be obsessed.
Yeah,
You know,
especially because I was obsessed with Paramore and Fall Out
Same.
Boy and like
I was
all
a
of
our
big
those.
generation
Paramore
is
fan.
too. That's
You
why we
know?
have like tremendo sabor, because
Yeah.
so many different kinds of music that we grew up around, but they somehow all creep in different ways.
Yeah, and the influence creeps. And that's why people were like, "Oh, what are you? Like, what are you doing? Like, I don't get you as an artist." I'm like, "You're not supposed to get me.
I'm an
Like,
artist.
I'm an artist. I have a whole lot of different things to offer
Right.
the world through my creativity, and that's
Absolutely.
you can't put me in a box."
Yeah.
By the way,
Like, don't you say?
we went to see your show here in Miami.
You have a tattoo about that, no?
Which one?
Pero babe,
I am that I
what kind
am.
of
Oh, I
research
am
did
that
you
I
do?
am,
She's
yes.
like, on your lower back.
No, I just remembered.
It's down my spine. It's down my spine. It's really small. But yeah, it says "I am that I am," which is from The Power of Now.
Period.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, and it's just kind of like an assertion of like, I exist because I do.
Period.
There's no other reason why, you know.
Yeah.
It's just
I can think
we're
of a
out
lot
here
of reasons
being-
why you exist.
Maybe, but at the end of the day, like, hello,
At the end of the day, we're just a grain of
stardust,
sand.
bro.
No, literally, we're made of stardust.
Yeah, literally.
From outer space.
And water,
yeah.
I've actually felt
carbon and water,
We're
baby.
little oceans. And
Yeah.
they think
We
the moons
are.
don't be controlling us.
And they do for sure. Like the
do.
planet's 70% water. We're 70% water.
We are tiny planets.
There's no better way to know that we're a mirror of our reality. You know,
Oh.
and each other.
I need a therapy session after this.
Listen,
To
I
recover.
got,
We're gonna have
She's
existential
got, I was
crisis.
going to say, I think you should sign up with Lauren.
I know, right? Are you taking classes?
I got you. I got you. More psychic though.
Hey, we're connected. One thing that blew me away from your show that maybe you can actually help me with, which Jem will agree, is I noticed your artistic attention to movement and the way that you incorporated like dance and movement and lighting into your show. Like, have you always danced? Is that something that do you feel like the visuals go with your art?
Yes, for sure. I started dancing when I was 3. I was in ballet, jazz, and Spanish flamenco.
Wow.
Until I was like 7, and then the school that I was at closed down, and my stubborn ass was like, "I'm never dancing again." So I didn't like do dance classes after that, but I would always dance in my room and choreograph stuff. Like that was like one of my favorite creative outlets was to take a song and interpret it like through through movement. And I do that a lot with my music. It's like very contemporary, lyrical based stuff, you know? Like I'm very much emoting the lyrics through the movement and through the dancers that work with me. I love to do that. And it's such an important part of performance for me. And like when I was in the group, we definitely were hitting all those boob cats. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
the
right.
musicality was there, and there was a lot of more hip hop influence and stuff.
Yeah.
And I still incorporate some of that into what I do, but I'm much more fluid and much more like contemporary with my movements. I love using my arms. I love using
Yes.
just moments to convey what I'm saying, and amplify it, you know? And I love working with dancers because dancers are just the backbone of the music industry, in my opinion.
Incredible.
I need to take a
I just think that
movement
they do they're like the perfect symbiotic relationship to musicians, because what we express through like song, they express through
Through their bodies,
And it's
exactly.
like, I feel like we're like, pff, and it's funny because I feel like all musicians, I don't care if you agree with this or not, it's my opinion.
Okay.
I feel like all musicians on some level are frustrated dancers, and all dancers on some level are frustrated musicians. That there's like,
And then some people are both.
I know, amazing.
Some people are me, which you never ever want to see dance ever.
I think I figured it out though. The other day she was like, if I see you dance with somebody else, I
No,
think
that's not what happened. Janelle gave you a terrible idea.
Thank you, Janelle.
She's like, I don't know, bueno. Don't give people ideas out there.
She's
all
a
right?
great for ideas.
She's like, I don't know, because if my boyfriend doesn't want to dance with me, so I told him, look, I'm gonna go dance with somebody who dances then. But then he's like, well, that's one too many dances, and she's like, well, that could have been you that got one too many dances.
Right?
Real shit.
All I want to do is learn how to dance salsa, like those people that you see in Ball and Chain that do all the
Dale.
Right?
Go learn.
I want to learn what's
You
it
heard?
called, like the EDM music where people just like kick their feet around.
That's cool too.
The like goth one, the shuffling.
The goth one.
Do that.
The goth.
Honestly, bet. Like,
Sign me up.
just fill up your arsenal.
No, I do need to learn to dance though, and I have a lot of respect for dancers, but no me conecto. And the other thing is that when I am connected musically, then my face looks like I just ate a moldy lemon.
The stink face.
But like, what am I supposed to do? That's how I
Yeah,
feel.
I mean, but it's also I feel like there's a lot of dancers that do the same thing. They're better with facials. Like, I feel like they practice their facial expressions, like when they're dancing, to like look hot while they dance, even if they're doing something crazy, you know. But that's part of training, you know. That's part of the rehearsing and the practicing is getting your pictures, like what you want to convey, your lines, like how you want to complete a sentence, movement wise, you know.
Yeah.
It's just another language.
Punctuate with your body.
use.
It is.
Exactly.
Punctuate.
I like to ask people this question because I actually, speaking of tattoos, I actually have an end quote here. And
cute.
it's from this quote that I once read that basically said that no piece of art is ever finished, only abandoned. And so I was like, let me give myself the ending, you know, like that little satisfaction. So I love to ask fellow artists, in your process as a creative, at what point do you know this is done?
I thank my Virgo rising for this, because I know when something's done. Like, for me, anyway.
Is
Or
it
at
like
least
a
when you
feeling?
need to let it go.
At least when I need to let it go, like I can let something go, because there's a point that I reach. Like, I am so meticulous when I'm in the final stages of stuff, like in the mixing stage or the mastering stage, and I sit literally behind the engineer, and I'm like, no, put that there, no, and not there, no, cut that off like 3 seconds before. Like, I'm super meticulous about that. Song wise, and I'll know when a song's done when I listen to it and I have no notes. You know, like when I'm going through it and I'm like, there's nothing that I need tweaked.
Almost as if you're just listening, as like nothing
as a
sticks
listener.
out.
Exactly.
Nothing sticks out. to
Nothing
you.
sticking out to me.
Right.
Nothing is. I can like play this and not be like, oh shit, I need to do an ad lib there, or oh, I need a harmony here,
Or like, this is missing.
this is missing. It needs a drum pattern right here. Like, it needs something. It needs a guitar lick there. Like, I'll have all of those like really meticulously thought out about each song. Each song is like my baby, you know.
Yeah.
And it's very much like that. It's kind of like I don't know, like a painting, where like, you know when a painting's done if
true.
it, because it's whatever is in your line of vision, you know, is like on the paper, you know. And that's how I feel about the music. Yeah.
Do you have any tips or tricks for fellow artists out there, even if you just they want to try maybe to create or connect to their artistic self? Like, is there anything, like a ritual that you do, or any kind of thing you do to get in the headspace to go into a studio session or a writing session, or does the muse just come to you and you hit it?
She is the muse. Baby.
I tips and tricks. I think one thing I would say is don't create for anyone but you. You know, like like find a way for your art to be your practice, in the sense of like, it's your baby that's coming out. It's like they're not going to let a whole bunch of people tell you how to parent your kid. You know what I mean? Like you're the parent.
Right.
And it's the same kind of concept for art, because everyone's always going to have an opinion about what sounds best, what's going to sell best, what's going to do better, what's going to hit better. And you could care about that stuff, you know, like I'm sure there's plenty of executives that know what they'll push and what they won't push. Because at the end of the day, the difference between a hit and a non-hit is money.
Money, literally.
Money. And, well, visibility. Because now with TikTok and stuff, you don't necessarily need money, but it is about visibility. You know, it's how many people get to see it, how many people get to hear it, the opportunity to hear the song. Yeah. And that's usually connected to money. But aside from that, like everyone's always going to have an opinion. Even people who you don't value their opinion. You know, like people who have no artistic bone in their body are still going to have an opinion and be like, oh, I would like it more if it was like this. Or,
is there somebody in your life whose opinion you do take
value?
And value?
Mine.
Yeah.
Period.
I'm gonna be honest. Like,
it's your vision.
Yeah. I mean, I share stuff with people that I like. I love your taste in music. I think you're an incredible musician. So when I shared the stuff with you and you guys both gave me the feedback that you did, that really like was like, fuck yeah, okay, dope. You know, like my sister, I love sharing my stuff with my sister. My sister has an amazing taste in music and she's a great,
she's cool. I've only met her once, so I'm a big fan.
Yeah, she's a great singer, great taste in music. My whole family, I value their taste in music because I fuck with their taste in music.
And you also know they're not trying to get anything out
of it.
Oh
no,
their
and
intention
also
is pure.
They're the last people that are gonna lie to me too. Like they're not the type to sugarcoat nothing.
Us Cubans aren't known for holding our tongue.
They're gonna tell me how they feel.
Shave that tongue, baby. Shave it.
Exactly. So when my sister, my brother, my mom, my dad, like when I share stuff with them and they're like, wow, you know, I that was beautiful, or that you really like conveyed that, or like I would listen to this, you know, that means a lot to me.
What about Cleo? You don't care what she thinks?
Cleo, ella se queda ahí calladita.
Fun fact, you guys know we have a Cleo.
She cares
Lauren
more
also has a Cleo.
Yes, I also have a Cleo. Cleopatra.
Yes,
I know, like ours. Janelle was like, wait, Cleo, don't you guys have a Cleo? I'm like, she has a Cleo.
Yes.
Queens.
Two
What can we
queens.
say?
Mira.
She really is a queen.
We said that at the same time so hard that you didn't even realize we said it at the same time.
We're no
so
phase,
in sync.
completely
No
phase.
Okay, we've talked about your music. We've talked about your incredible work as a role model for all of us in using our own voice. But you use your voice in another way.
Oh, yes.
You have a podcast.
I do.
Called Attunement, which I love that name, by the way.
Thank you. Yeah, it's also the name of my record label.
Oh, epic. I didn't know that.
That's way better than what I came up with.
It's like, what was yours?
Alien Shrimp Records.
I like that. Clearly, they're on brand.
Try giving that email over the phone.
Yeah. Literally anytime I'm
Alien
like,
Trip
so sorry in advance.
And my name is Gemini.
Yeah, it's hard.
Okay.
There's a lot of things going on there.
Anyway, back to more important things.
Don't use that email.
Yeah, so it's called Attunement. It used to be on my Patreon and just kind of like for Patreon subscribers, but recently I've been slowly but surely uploading like archive episodes, like the ones that I do have on to my YouTube that I made for it. It's Attunement Podcast, and on Instagram as well.
Nice.
And TikTok. Yeah, I think those are like the ones we have because fuck Twitter.
Yeah.
Who?
Exactly. We don't even know those guys.
I won't call it anything but Twitter.
I know. I refuse to submit to that, man.
I mean, I'm going to call it, it's just dumb.
I'm going to call it
Even if
twatter.
it wasn't him, it's so dumb.
It's so dumb.
I'm calling it twatter. Is what I'm calling it.
Period. Okay.
What sparked that idea for you?
During the pandemic, actually, or well, the pandemic was no, but you know, when it first started in 2020, I just realized that not only me, but the whole world was in such a anxious space.
For sure.
Where nobody really knew what to do with having so much time to themselves or not having any time to themselves, depending on what spectrum of the scale they were on during that time. I personally had a lot of time on my hands, and all of the stuff that I was supposed to be doing got taken off the table. And I had been working every day of my life since I was 16. So it was really jarring for me.
Right.
And it was a time where I really dove into my spirituality a lot more. And I started meditating, and I started doing all these different things to like heal essentially, or at least I thought. I learned that healing is not a linear thing.
It's
but
really not.
At the time I was like, there's so many tools that I'm gathering right now, and I really want to share those tools, you know? And so every Sunday on Instagram Live, I would go live either by myself or with someone that I followed who I thought was really dope and who was helping me learn stuff. And I did quite a few episodes, lives.
Yeah.
Where I just spoke to them and we spoke through different healing modalities and, you know, what is anxiety and how does it come up for you and how does it manifest in the body and, you know, crystal healing and like all kinds of different things that were just like helping me along the way. And also a lot of social justice driven stuff because at the time there was the BLM movement was really going and popping off. And so all of these kind of things I was talking about from different perspectives with different people. And I would get like a lot of people listening in, you know, and it was something that was really consistently working for me. So then I ended up taking it over to Patreon and connecting with just different friends of mine, like different people that I've been following that we've connected and or different people that I admire, and I admire their work in the world, and I admire the way that they use their platforms or the things that they've created from their essence.
Another kind of journal.
Yeah. It's like a talk format of the same kind of concepts, just more healing, social justice oriented. Like the intro of the podcast just talks about how it's like our awareness of one another and our interconnectivity and the intersectionality of everything that we are going through as a collective. You know, it's really for the collective. Like it's an offering to whoever feels lost or confused or like there's no voice for their struggle through this all, you know? I wanted to create like a toolbox for people to come to and listen to different creatives and different like artists and different because I have like amazing interviews with like Aja Monet and like my friend Ravina, like just really beautiful wide range of interviews.
Love that.
I was going to ask you, you can pick deceased or alive. What would be 3 dream people you'd want to talk to on your pod? Ooh. Other than Gemini, because obviously we'd be your first choice.
Obviously. Duh. Dead or alive, I would love to talk to Nina Simone.
Wow, yeah.
I think that would be incredible. I'd love to talk to Martin Luther King.
Wow.
Jr. And Bernie Sanders.
Wow.
I'd love to talk to Bernie Sanders.
Hey.
I feel like that one is definitely
that
possible.
one's around the corner.
One day.
You're like there.
Yeah. I really, even though there's stuff that I don't agree that he does, like for the most part, I think he's one of the most consistent representatives for like progressive agenda. And I feel like we would be in so much better hands if we turn back the clock of time and in 2016 he would have been our president. Like I think that we would be living in a very different world right now.
For sure.
Yeah.
Would you ever get into politics and try to take him down from the inside?
You know,
I can totally see that.
There's a part of me that would want to do that maybe at some point in my life. But I also feel like the whole system is so deeply corrupt at this point that, and this is what attunement is about too as an ethos, is I want to render the system obsolete. The system that is at play, we're all bought into it. With our time, our attention, and money, and our resources. We are the cogs that make the wheel go. Yep. And if all of the cogs one day decide, hey, actually, I don't fuck with the system, and there's a whole nother system that they can buy into with their time, attention, and money, and that it works better for them, and that allows them to feed their kids, and that allows them to have a roof over their head, and that allows them affordable things, you know, like, I think that my goal with whatever it is that I create in this world is to challenge what we know to be the absolute truth. And it's like, there is no absolute truth. Everything is malleable and everything is upheld by ideas, by what we all choose to believe. And a belief is just an agreed upon truth. Everything is an illusion. It really is all an illusion.
Probably a simulation.
And it is. It really is. And so capitalism has reached a point where it is completely extractive. And the only the concept of capitalism is consistent growth and exponential growth.
And more and more
And more and more and more and more and more. And it never ends.
And by the way, that's why we think our resources are being drained and our earth is shriveling.
Exactly.
And we
Our
just keep
earth won't
taking.
shrivel. We'll just cease to
Right.
exist.
But there
upon
is
it.
a
It'll kill
such
us.
thing as like
It'll purge us.
finite resources. You know
For
what I mean?
sure.
There are things that are not renewable.
Yeah.
And that's the point. But renewable is cyclical. Cyclical is indigenous. The wheel of life is constantly circling. Seasons go and come, you know, like that is the way of nature. That is the way of life. And so if we don't have systems that follow that way of life, we're always going to get to a point where there's exploitation, where there's destruction, where there's suffering. And I don't think suffering is necessary.
No.
You know, I feel like there's necessary suffering, necessary violence,
you need
and
it to be
unnecessary
able-
violence. You
you
know what I mean?
need- yeah.
And there's a lot of unnecessary violence right now that is not, it's just not needed for us to survive. It's more so to maintain a specific level of lifestyle for a very small percentage of people. And I don't think that's fair, you know? And so I really am invested with my whole essence into dismantling that in whatever kind of ways I can and building worlds and building realities that people can tap in with, that they can be like, oh, if I go into this world, then I can just live in that ecosystem and that ecosystem takes care of itself and I don't have to be a part of these extractive forces.
A lot of people are shocked by what they're seeing, thinking that this is new. This is just the veil has been lifted.
Yes, and this
now
is
we're
not
seeing it
new
for what it is.
It's not new for indigenous people. It is not new for Black people. It is not new for Latinos who have been in cages since before and are in literal concentration camps for years at this point. You know, like this is something that is the way of America and has always been the way of America since its inception because it's a colonial state. You know what I mean? It's the same with that other place. You know what I'm saying? It's like they're colonial states.
I love that other place.
Yeah. I
Don't even say it.
like to say their name.
Well, you got my vote. Lauren for president.
Yeah.
No, pobrecita. I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy.
You know, there's a part of me that does kind of want to do it just because nobody who should do it ever does
doing
it.
it,
Yeah.
right.
But because it's so nasty of
know.
a thing to do and because
know.
you have to, you know,
It's also just so hard.
By the way, if
It's dramatic.
you
there's
don't
people
think they
that-
make it, so you have to play the game.
there's people that want to get there.
Oh, yeah.
But how do you battle a corporation like Coca-Cola
right,
or Meta?
right.
You can't. It feels.
It feels impossible.
It feels impossible.
It feels impossible.
Because
Yeah.
we've had some pretty good, maybe not completely wholly perfect, but we had some pretty good candidates that have shown up, that have had different points of view and offered different perspectives and maybe would have actually changed, maybe not wholly, but maybe would have changed the face
Yeah.
of politics. And they just can't get there.
Yeah. Well, they're also blocked a lot of the time.
That's what I'm saying.
And they don't belong to either wing of the establishment.
Which is a problem for
because
them.
they're all for the ruling class. Like,
Exactly.
they don't care about us.
Exactly.
They don't care about us.
That's another song right there.
They're
I'm going to the Gazorpa Zorpian
all I
plan.
really
And
know is they don't really care about us. Michael Jackson. Hey, that's why I killed that man. Sorry. Anyway.
We're going to play a little rapid fire with you, Lauren, and I know you can do it.
Cute. Let's go.
We'll take turns.
okay.
Okay. First, if your voice had a signature scent, what would it smell like?
Ooh. Like smoky vanilla.
Ooh, I agree.
Ooh. Yeah, because we know
'Cause
you
you
don't
have
like
that
chocolate, which I learned recently.
Weird.
If you don't know that.
Very weird.
The flavor.
Yeah. Oh.
Okay. Next. If your dog Cleo could talk, what is the first thing she'd say to you?
Oh my God. Scratch my butt. Scratch me now. My butt itches, Mom. Literally.
If you were a professional boxer, what would be your walkout song?
Ooh.
Oh.
That's a good one.
I have to think about this one.
Do you want to go back to it? I mean, it's supposed to be rapid
I
fire.
know, but I can't. I have no songs coming to mind right now.
Just picture it, right? You're walking out. The audience is roaring.
Mine would be Vagina by Cupcake.
Lauren, baby. This is your game. It's hers.
Oh, sorry.
Lauren.
Oh,
Lauren. What's playing?
I don't know.
She's like
Could
Mozart.
be a song of yours.
Maybe something Missy Elliott.
Oh, yeah, that's
You
badass.
know?
That's badass.
Like she's a bitch.
Yeah.
Like that one. Let's do that one.
okay, love it.
That's a good
I'm
one.
gonna go with that.
Go, baby.
What's your most impressive but completely useless talent? Oh, like I can do this.
You really are an alien, huh? That's crazy.
Useless, impressive.
Useless but impressive. I can do nails really well.
Oh, but that's not useless.
Nails?
That's not useless, right?
That's not.
That's
should we
very
say
nails.
impressive but surprising?
Okay, yeah. You
I can do nails really well.
like manicures.
Yes, I'm like such a perfectionist.
You
I
shouldn't
can
have told them that.
imagine. I know.
Now she's gonna call you.
Because
I got you, girl. I love to do it.
Really?
Yeah.
I have a whole setup in my
I
house.
do love to do it.
that
I do
I
it for
never
like
use.
I used to do it for my grandma,
Oh,
my sister,
That's
back
awesome.
in the day. Yeah.
That's awesome. Love it.
Oh, I can also face paint.
really?
I used to do face painting on all the like little birthday parties and stuff.
No way.
With
The more you
acrylic
know.
paint.
Learning the tea.
That's kinda
hard.
useless.
That's kind of useful.
You
Is
could
it
start
to-
a, you
to
could
paint
start
face?
I mean,
a little business.
if
You
you
do
ever-
nails, you
Mira,
do
call me for your cosmetology
paint.
needs.
If you ever don't want to be a songwriter, singer, poet,
Done.
activist,
Y'all
should
can
do
come
them
to
at
me
the
for your
same time.
nails.
politician, podcaster. You could be a manicurist. You could be
Honestly,
a
I gotta just
painter.
add it because I feel like those are consistent checks.
No. There you go,
Listen, instead of
exactly.
like a meet and greet at her show, you can get a VIP where she does your nails.
Or
Mira.
a VIP little face paint, and then you go out into the
Oh my
concert.
god! Oh, that's a
Cute.
great idea.
That
Another
actually
building
is
after
kinda
us,
cute.
please. We're just giving you
Another
ideas.
building
for
is
Up to
payment.
2. And with the B suit 3.
Dale.
Okay, what's the wildest DM you've ever received?
Ooh.
Oh Lord. Like that I remember. So I don't really read DMs.
No?
If I'm being honest.
That's a shame. That's how Em and I met.
Oh.
Oh no, that's a lie. That's
Yeah,
that's
no.
such a lie.
We
We
met-
met at a
Part of
bar.
how you met.
That's how you met,
We met in
your
person.
dogs. Our dogs.
What?
What? No.
Yeah.
Well, yes, but
No? Forget all of that.
We're moving forward.
Yeah. Anyway, what's the wildest DM you've ever received?
The wildest DM. I don't really read DMs. I only read DMs from like people who get past the verified.
here, give me my phone. I'll
who
send her
I
something
follow.
weird right now.
Send me something crazy.
Send you a picture of me sunning my.
Oh yeah. It's a little invasive.
Don't assume she wants to see that.
I really, oh, you know what?
Yeah.
Wildest DM I ever got was from someone I thought was my friend who sent me a dick pic.
Oh,
Full frontal
Listen.
in the middle of the day.
That's like
I was,
harassment,
I was
though.
like, it is 100%
100%
harassment.
harassment.
And he had a whole girlfriend.
oh,
And I was like, sir, what the fuck?
Also, like, how is that the opening line? How do
It
people
wasn't the
really-
opening line. We had
Oh.
we had a friendship. That's what was weird about it.
No, I mean, but like, just
that was
like,
why was wild. Oh yeah, no,
Do you
just
guys
like,
think
boom.
that's cute too? Like at least put a little hat on it. Or
I think he was
something in the
incredibly
morning.
under the influence. But either way, like
So rude and gross.
you're whack as hell.
yeah, that's.
I hope you see this so you know how whack.
I hope your girlfriend is not with you
Good.
anymore.
she is.
Oh,
and I hope your
no.
BB fell off.
Oh.
Okay.
Amen.
Next, if you had to turn one of your random thoughts into a TED Talk, what's the topic?
I have so many thoughts
I had a feeling.
all up in my podcast that could become TED Talks. Probably what I was talking about, like our divestment from like rendering the system obsolete.
Love that. I
Love
could
it.
totally.
I'll
I'll
turn that
listen
into
to you
a
talk
TED
about
Talk.
that.
Yo, honestly, Ted, wherever you
Hit
She
me
wants
up,
to talk.
bro. Or like, you know, just using creativity as a vehicle for expression.
Maybe we could try to find a way to brainwash people with music.
That's what I want to do.
You can definitely brainwash people.
I
with
love
music.
doing that.
Nothing else.
That's what it's all about.
Okay, babe, your turn.
Okay. Aliens land on Earth and demand one Lauren Jauregui song to understand humanity.
Ooh.
What track are you playing for them?
Always love.
Love that.
Yay.
Yeah. Because we're a dysfunctional.
You
little
asked me, I would have been like
species.
the day the world blows up.
Oh, wait, duh.
you
Okay,
really
the day
want to
the world blows
understand humanity?
The day the world
really
blows
want
up.
to
understand how messed up we really are.
You're right. Honestly,
That's a really powerful song.
No, I like Always Love. That's good. We could, you know.
I think both of those are good.
Both of them.
We'll be like, hey, like, just give us a break.
Yeah.
We're giving you two.
Yeah.
Like I did with you guys when I was playing you the album. They were like, okay,
my
we only have time for like 3 songs. I was like, okay, one more.
Only because it was like
One more.
midnight.
One
No,
more.
I hope you know we want to listen to the whole
Duh. No,
thing.
you were tired, bro. Like it was
know.
freaking late as hell.
I know. And we had already been like sitting there. I know.
And
No,
they
but,
did say yes every time I asked.
But
for
tell
one.
me that it didn't wake us up.
It did.
We were like, oh, we're going to go home.
Yeah, it
And we were like,
invigorated us.
Wait a minute.
I was like fully leaning forward.
You were.
That's the power of music. I'm
It
telling
is.
you.
Good music. The
Change
power
your
of good
mood.
music.
All right. What's a conspiracy theory you kind of believe? She's like, how much time you got?
A conspiracy theory that I kind of believe. Can I get like really out there with it?
It's
Yeah.
your world, honey. We're living
No, a
in it.
lot of these politicians are pedophiles.
Oh, I don't think
that's not a conspiracy theory.
I think that's
Okay,
just
but
a-
that's they still try to make that
true.
like it's
not
a conspiracy.
it's not like, you know,
Yeah.
verified.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
a lot of these people that we clap for
Are-
and is a president,
are
sitting
pedophiles.
president, or pedophiles.
There's going to
yeah,
be
for
a lot
sure.
more being revealed about
For
a lot of people
sure.
that have been in a lot of positions of power that we're going to
Yeah.
learn very scary, sad things about. It's just, it hasn't been bad enough.
And I
Like,
hope
just
that like
gross.
people actually give a fuck, because I feel like we know these things and it's
Yeah.
not a conspiracy theory anymore. But like
Right.
they're still in positions
Yeah.
of
Right.
power and not in
People
jail.
prefer to look away.
It's wild.
They will die on their heels.
They really will.
It's
Have you-
crazy.
They really will.
During the pandemic, this one
This
freaked
is supposed to
me
be rapid fire.
out. Sorry.
Whatever.
Go ahead.
I want to hear.
This is conversational.
Breaking the rules.
We're in space.
It's
I'll
true.
make it quick. During the pandemic, there was this one going around that floored me because there were all these videos of people who were living in areas next to or near Walmarts. And in the middle of the night, they would hear this construction noise and they would go to see what was going on. And all the windows at the Walmart were blocked out. And they were like military vehicles, like in the Walmart. So there was this big conspiracy going around because they were like all over that the military actually has tunnels under the Walmarts connecting them, because if something were to happen in the world, like a global pandemic or a war or whatnot, that and martial law would be enacted, that's where they would put all
That's
the
their
people.
headquarters.
Are you ready? Guess what Walmart is backwards?
Well, Mark.
Like Mart law.
That's a good conspiracy theory.
Wait a minute.
That's a good one. That's a good
Yo,
one.
I believe that shit.
There you go.
I believe that shit so hard. And also just how fucked Walmart is as a company. Like,
Yeah.
absolutely. I believe it.
Love that.
Anyway, sorry for the diversion. Go
No,
ahead.
it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. All right. If you could, we're almost done. If you could have
Pobrecita.
dinner with any historical figure, but they had to roast you the whole time,
What?
who would you pick? We could just make it easy.
Historical figure that could
But like, is Rosa Parks out here like calling me short? Like, I don't get
roasting
it.
me. They had to roast me the whole time. Malcolm X.
Oh,
that'd be
that's a good.
I feel like he'd give me some real good ones. He'd get on my ass. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Okay, what's one Cuban dish that feels like home?
Viste empanizado.
Oh.
Yeah, my mom used to make that for me, or does make, or tortilla de papa. One of the two.
Of
Yum.
course, you like tortilla.
I love tortilla
Me
de papa.
too.
That's my signature
I
dish, by
love
the way.
tortilla.
When I
Ooh.
first learned how to cook, that was the shit that I would throw.
That's crazy because that's
Down.
not easy.
Like tortilla española?
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, but like Cuban version.
Yeah.
Yeah. My
I don't know that I know the difference.
the
With salchicha.
woman who like worked with us growing up, like our nanny type housekeeper. She was from Cuba, obviously. Her name was Norma. We used to call her abuela. Like she was like
shout
our
out
third
Norma.
grandma. I love her. Shout out to you. Rest in
Oh,
peace.
sorry.
But yeah, she would make me that all the time when I got home from school.
rico.
Yeah.
And I would be waiting for me, and I watched her
cebollita?
process. No, sin cebolla.
Oh, okay.
Son papa frita
Y huevo.
y huevo. Así. Y un poquito de sal.
Cubanita. I know, I'm hungry.
Yeah.
And my grandma actually used to make me like tortilla de plátano with maduros.
Oh, yeah.
I've never tried that.
Oh,
People be mixing
I
that
got
too.
you, girl.
good?
She doesn't like
Spectacular.
plátanos like that, though.
You don't like maduros?
Not really.
Mija.
I don't know what it is.
No.
There's only one maduro that I really like. There's this lady and she like frequents the Miami Fresh Market circuit. So on Saturdays you'll always find her in Coconut Grove, and Sundays she's usually at the Pinecrest one. Her name is Lamoy, and she does raw vegan food.
Yeah, it's so good.
And she has these maduros that are essentially raw, but she does
Her spirit
Spectacular.
goes
you don't
into
like
her food.
pollo tropical maduros?
I don't like maduros, like, period. I love Pollo Tropical.
They
don't,
kill that shit.
They really do. The other day, you know, my sister moved away. I told you. The other day, I was on FaceTime with her, and I was like showing her. I'm like, "Look, will you move back yet?" And I was showing her Pollo Tropical. She was like, "Damn,
Dude, it's so specific.
It
It's
is so
to
specific.
hear.
You only know if you know.
We're going to
really
have to
only
get
know,
some
you know.
pollo tropical now.
Yummy.
That's all right with
Well,
me.
before we deorbit, first of all, I want to say thank you so much. Every conversation we have with you, cameras or not, is impactful. But I feel blessed that we were able to capture this one for our journals, and so that you can be a part of our story up here in space.
Thank you for having me.
It's an
I
honor.
love you guys.
You know,
You
we're
know,
big
we love you.
fans. And when you guys hear, look, saca esta chica, you ain't ready. So I'm very much looking forward.
yeah.
to what's ahead for you and the art that you're going to release and birth. And if you save the art placenta, I'll eat that too.
Amazing.
So-
I'll make little capsules for you.
Thank you. You okay?
I
babe?
get her. It's okay.
I know. I'm so happy.
I'm going to break up with you in a second.
Very funny.
All right. Well, before you go, we're gonna show you a tradition that we do up here in space. It's where I report the news that's happening in space because we don't hear that often. And as I will say, don't look at her. Everything you're gonna hear is 100% true.
I trust it.
This is the only place that I really take myself seriously and I don't joke around.
And you thrive.
Yeah.
I'm ready.
As I was telling the Oscars Network, Space News! Yay! All right, ladies, germs, germones, germettes. With a crew swap looming, the Expedition 72 team aboard the International Space Station decided to stage a mini Space Olympics. How fun! Events included synchronized floating, bubble blowing contest, and a race to catch floating M&Ms with their mouths. The grainy footage shared during a handover ceremony had ground control in stitches and fans calling for an annual tradition. Funnily enough, these childlike outer space Olympics cost 3.2 times as much as the real Olympics, wasting 5.2 billion of your tax dollars and hours of valuable time and research in space.
Is it
about
really
right.
$5.2 billion?
I just report the news.
3 times. 3
I
times.
would love to see what our girl Simone can do in anti-gravity, though. That would be tight.
Yeah,
That
that
would
would
be
be cool.
Floating somersaults.
Yeah.
Crew members of NASA's SpaceX Crew 10 mission are in the final stages of launch preparations after completing a dry dress rehearsal at NASA's Kennedy Space Center in Florida. Reportedly, all went well, except for some sloppy high kicks, turned out feet, and Elon's slightly sharp lizard-like singing.
Why was he there?
I just report the news.
Okay.
Just
God, he was.
This month, sky watchers in the Americas will witness a total lunar eclipse that mirrors one Christopher Columbus is said to have used to his advantage over 5 centuries ago to scare indigenous people. What a lovely guy he was. Luckily, he is long gone because if he were alive today, I would rub my blood moon all over his dumb face.
Amen.
And this has been
Space News! It's good, right? Only half true.
Lovely
That's okay.
segment.
Well, thank you for flying with us. You can follow us at In Our Own World Pod, and you can follow her on socials, right?
Yes.
Patreon. Where else? Tell them where to
Well,
see
I'm
you.
actually not on Patreon anymore.
Okay, never mind.
You can follow me on Instagram. I'm mostly there. TikTok. I need to make a Blue Sky. I still haven't made it, but so don't follow me there. And YouTube.
Yes.
Yeah.
Either at Lauren Jauregui, which is just my name. It's the same everywhere that you can look me up is the same at. And it's Attitude Podcast.
Yes.
Go listen to that now because this one's done. We love you.
Love
See
you.
you next week.
Bye.
Launching.